Welcome to Deep Dive Daily.
What up? Freestyle Friday. Let's reflect on the world of sports and sports betting, Andy. Yesterday was absurd. There was so much going on, and wouldn't you know it, who stole the show? But Josh Giddey with the bomb from three for the baby Bulls. My goodness gracious!
Even
What a
without the half
comeback.
quarter, without the final shot, it was still a pretty wild. Like it was the Larry Bird thing, except it wasn't all one guy. It's like, oh, we're down 5. Oh shit! Like
We better steal it and get a 3. Yeah,
yeah, we need the Lakers we need a basket now.
yeah.
Weren't we just up by 5? Yeah, no, that was pretty wild. Obviously, we had Miami, we had the Houston Open, we had some good basketball at night, depending on who you like to win.
Yeah. Okay.
It was
Let's
funny.
okay.
I
Let's
watched.
do this.
You know what I watched?
What's that?
Guess what sports I watched yesterday?
Baseball, college basketball, golf, tennis, wrestling. What?
College hockey.
Oh,
Both my Minnesota teams
because
lost.
you got a
Fucking
mock
Gophers.
because you got to get your mock draft in order.
Honestly, it's the funny thing about a mock draft. If you want to get ready for NHL mock draft, don't watch college hockey.
None of those
I think
players.
in the first round, there's probably like 4 or 5 college players tops. The rest of them are playing in the OHL, the WHL, the QJ, CBTBHL, whatever Quebec's is. Like, I think probably 80% of the first round of the NHL is just playing junior hockey in Canada. Another 5% is playing in like the Czech or.
So what are you? Are you editing the all hair team or something? Is that why you're watching?
No,
Oh,
it's just better hockey. I don't know.
crazy.
You're
sick.
It reminds me of. I mean, it reminds me of professional playoff hockey. Like, it's just a good brand of hockey.
Okay.
Even
Okay.
if the refs screwed my Gophers, the Mavericks put up a good fight. The Frozen Four stuff's great. Yeah, Gophers went up to Fargo, got put in the wood chipper.
Okay. Let's hit NBA first and foremost. Yes, was very lucky to get the Bulls home yesterday. And really the win itself was huge for me because I'm against the Lakers in the Pacific Division, and the Lakers now have a huge rest disadvantage tomorrow against Memphis. So hopefully they take another L. Meanwhile, I feel like the Clippers are coming. The Warriors certainly are right there too, but the Lakers falling out of the top of the Pacific Division is going to make me very happy once we get to Monday, and we're reflecting on the state of the futures markets in the NBA. Other thing tonight, massive rest disadvantage for the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight against Detroit, followed by another massive rest disadvantage for the Cavaliers on Sunday against the Clippers. So hoping that Cleveland slumps their way to 2 losses here. If you watched any of their game against the Spurs yesterday, they were tie. That was a brutal second half. They ultimately did not even sniff a cover, but they got a win after it got real gnarly in the last 2 minutes there. I took a loss yesterday on the Rockets because Buckeyes legend Bryce Sensabaugh for the Jazz hit a 2-pointer at the end of that contest to make him 6 for 6 on the night and 5 for 5 from 3. Andy, Buckeye legend Bryce Sensabaugh. That's how dumb this time of the year is for the NBA. That pissed me off. But college ball. Thoughts on the chalk advancing? Texas Tech being the one that came through by the hairiest hair on their chinny chin chin.
Yeah, it's funny too. We dogged a little on Arkansas, but like we said, well-coached team. They've been having a good. They've had a good tournament. Couple coin flips here and there late, and they're in the Elite Eight. Really good job by them this year. I feel bad.
Thoughts and prayers to vibing. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean he'll be all right. It's not like
it looked like that was over. That did not feel like a game that was in the balance with 5 minutes to play.
They were you were the underseed. You got to keep the foot on the gas pedal, I guess. I guess the thoughts and prayers RIP for me would be for BYU.
Ooh, yeah.
Like BYU put up a pretty good game. You just 3-point variance sometimes it's just gonna kick you in the dick. Jesus. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, it's not like Alabama's going to come out and score 50 points in the next round, but
Yep.
probably a little bit of a regression. And it's still a very good team. But man, if they can shoot even partway like that, it's going to be a very good regional final. Obviously, Florida, I don't know. Florida was fine in the second half. They kind of imposed their will a little more. Maryland looked pretty good heading into the break, and then just didn't have it. Didn't catch a lot of the Duke game.
Arizona covered.
Like we said, Arizona was good.
That was a hard fought cover for the Wildcats. Good job, guys. Really
9.5. Never in
golf
doubt.
clap for the Arizona Wildcats getting inside that number. All right, couple thoughts. The chalk advancing is funny. The chalk advancing tonight would also be funny. If there's 4 1s, 3 2s, and a 3 in the Elite Eight, the belly aching and the content is going to be pretty golden. So I'm fine with that. If there's one upset, I would like it to be Michigan State losing to Ole Miss, because that is my final entry for my Survivor hopes and dreams. I have one entry with 27 points, so I'm in like the top 40-ish, maybe top 30, maybe top 20 of the 500 remaining entries in the Muse Dog. But I need Ole Miss to take Michigan State out, because I have already bet against Michigan State with that entry, which means I can't use Michigan State, which means I can't even risk having them alive. And I need 6 points to get myself closer to the top if this is going to happen. So I'm putting my last Survivor entry on the line after getting Texas Tech home very, very fortunately yesterday. So the Survivor might be over. If you're listening to this or you're looking for future guidance, I think the right call was going to be pivoting against the pool and taking Duke to make the Final Four, opening up the opportunity to take Houston to win the ship, because of just the way the public is split right now in terms of who's likely going to win. Like, the only way that you're really going to differentiate yourself, and now is the time to be contrarian. I was thinking it was to take Duke, but I got to tell you that Alabama's offense yesterday scared the ever-loving shit out of me, and I think Duke is actually a little potentially live for the upset. So I'm going to take Florida on Saturday if I survive with Ole Miss. And then who the hell knows Sunday, but probably Auburn. And then expect that it's basically comes down to, I guess I can't take Florida and Auburn. I'm going to have to take Houston, and then I'm going to have to hope Auburn beats Houston in the final. Ugh. I'm going to have to hope Auburn beats Bama in the final. That's what I'm going to have to do. Fuck. Damn it. If you take...
well, they'd be, a small favorite.
If you take Florida, although that gives you Duke, that basically...
God, so Auburn, Alabama final, that total's going to be like 183.
Those have been good games this year.
Some of these Bama games, Auburn, they put high totals on these Bama games, and they just go off the rails. It's like, oh my God.
So if I take Florida...
175 is never in doubt.
So if you take Florida on Saturday for Survivor, you cannot take Auburn on Sunday. If you take Duke for the Final Four on Saturday, then you cannot take Houston on Sunday. That's kind of the way that works, because you're going to need one of that.
It's
one
of
each
you just
side.
Got to go across.
Yeah, you just have to go
one
across.
One from column A, one from column B.
Ugh, yuck. I'm not going to win. Fuck it.
It's not easy. This has been a lot of fun though, and despite the very small success I've ever had, the only success I've had in Survivor has been baseball somehow, which if I get the time, I might put some entries together. I got
this year?
No, but it starts next week. Joe Ostrowski, Chicago guy.
Oh, okay.
He runs a good league. If I get the time to run my numbers, I might put some entries together. The best way to do it was,
that's good for content, man. Do it.
I mapped it.
I'll ask
I mapped
you
it
every week.
And then I just put them all in, because you can put them in ahead of time. For Baseball Survivor, they have to win at least 50% of their games that week, which is fun because you can map out even numbered weeks are obviously advantageous, because 4, you have to win 2 games. 5, you have to win 3. 50 to 60% is a big difference over the stretch. And you get, because it's baseball, you get 3 strikes.
Yeah.
So you can lose 3 times and then you're out. And he
Right.
lets you have 3 entries. I would
Well,
encourage you guys, if you like
I'm
baseball,
gonna
get into
implore.
that one. It's a fun one.
I'm going to encourage you to do it so that we have something to talk about throughout baseball season as long as you're alive. Okay, let's move on.
The other part was we have to get into the we have to do Circuit Survivor, at least one each this fall.
Oh, sure,
Because
for sure.
This has been
Absolutely.
more fun.
Yeah, happy
than
to
I
do
thought
that.
talking
Yeah,
about it.
I'm turning down my millions entries and I'm turning up my Survivor entries for that purpose. All right. No more thoughts about baseball other than opening day fucking rocked. Great job by baseball, except for the fact that no one could watch it because your product is that big of a piece of shit. Although that's kind of going around with tech. My fucking iPhone and iOS is completely fucked now. It freezes all the time. Like, what a joke. Like, they're completely ruining their flagship product. And this is the most important company on the planet, Apple. Like, good Lord, we are in deep trouble. Microsoft is a fucking joke now. Like, everything is falling apart. And Major League Baseball cannot get their product on opening day in front of eyes and people who want to watch it, which is hilarious. Let's move on to tennis, Andy. The Miami Open, some commentary. We have people in the chat who are asking about it. I have hit my stop loss number for losing at Miami, so I am no longer betting these matches. But I will tell you that your Pegula pick, wow, exciting and fun and good to follow, is
she
dead.
might be it's not a good stylistic matchup for her.
It's not a good stylistic matchup, and it's not good that that Sabalenka right now is finding her peak.
Redlining. Yeah,
she's at the peak of her powers, and I think that's actually not unexpected because guess what? This is the last major hardcore for a while, and you know where Sabalenka butters her bread? She butters her bread on the hard court, Andy. Now that we go to clay, she's going to be in a tougher spot to win some tournaments. So I think Pegula is in trouble. I'm rooting for her, obviously. I'm just going to ride this thing out. Best number I got, by the way, on Pegula was 24-1. Did you actually bet it?
No, ask me if I bet it. I was so mad. I'm so mad. So it doesn't matter. I'm rooting against her. 6-0, 6-0. Never even a chance.
I thought you did have Pegula. You didn't have
No,
Pegula?
I just said it's my pick to click. Whenever I do that and I say it, I usually I should just go put like $20 in this anyway. No, of course not. So I want her to slip in the bathtub, not even play.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Fritz to stop Djokovic from getting a title here because I just can't wrap my brain around Djokovic.
Are the semifinals kind of just
this year?
Are both semifinals kind of just
not? I don't know. Dimitrov plays great in Miami, and he's a crafty player. I think that's a tough matchup for Djokovic, and it's the early tip today, so it's during the day, which Djokovic does not love playing. So Dimitrov, I think, is live, but again, I'm not betting this because I hit my stop loss for this tournament.
Have you seen odds on the women's final? Is it like -300 or what are we at?
I would expect actually it would be higher. My number says it should be closer to 375 as I look at my sheet. Let me tell you what it is. It is.
What time
it's
is that?
-303. -303 is the
Saturday afternoon
odds portal odds. Pinnacle only -278. So my numbers say bet Sabalenka money line at 278. All right. Brett says Jess has a legit shot. +270. +250 is a pretty fair price. Okay, so he disagrees with my fair. Then I would have made her closer to 375, but that's cool. I'm just basically expecting the fact that she had to come through the Philippine #1 Alexander Ayala. She had to come through her 2-1 with a 6-3 third set win. Is sort of a sign of fatigue for her. Which I think is not a good place to be as you take on Sabalenka. Sabalenka, of course, this is a rematch, Andy, do you remember? Sabalenka Pegula?
Cincinnati?
U.S. Open women's final last fall. Day before we kicked off the NFL
Close
season.
Enough.
Yeah.
Eastern time zone. I was in the right area.
Sabalenka ultimately won that, but it was very competitive. Pegula put up a hell of a fight. So we'll see. But
you want to hear a hot take on that? The U.S. Open should be 3 weeks earlier because I have trouble giving a shit every year because football's on.
You're crazy.
I love it,
You're
but
crazy.
It's my fourth
exhibition
favorite.
NFL week 1 handshake with the men's final is fucking perfect.
I would rather watch the third stringers than the U.S. Open.
Oh, Andy was. Oh, Showtime says you were right. They played the Cincy final also. Look at you! Look at you!
Sketty City. There we go.
All right. Good morning, Glue Sniffers, says Legs Show Magazine. I like it. What, Andy? Excuse me, Andy. Who? Wait, no. I guess two questions for you. Are they going to play the Houston Texas Children's golf today, or is the weather going to be a problem? And if they play, who is going to win that tournament?
They are playing, and unfortunately for all the rest of the people, Scotty Scheffler is 3 under through 7. He is now tied for the lead.
Oh,
he might be breaking his long winless streak of like 5 tournaments just because he is that good. Rory didn't have a very good start to the tournament. I think he had 2 birdies, 2 bogeys, even par through, one round. But I think he was on the bad wave. It's a lot of wind in the afternoons here. It looks like rain all day, on and off. We'll see if they get it in. They didn't finish yesterday, so some people did have to finish this morning as well. My horses, I've got Minwoo Lee, 2 off the lead. He has not teed off yet today. He will be playing in the wind. And what he did putting yesterday is super unsustainable. He gained 4 strokes putting, and he finished 4 under for the day. You can't have 100% of your scoring be putting variance and think you can do that for 4 days. So need him to figure some stuff out. Me and Cal went with Thomas Detry, however you want to say it, for our one and done. He's 2 under on the day, 3 under for the tournament, 3 off the lead. And then I do have some Pop Geeter.
okay.
3-1 to top 20, like we said.
Okay.
And he's currently sitting at T16. So, yeah, Vic Perez is shooting to the top. Pendrith. Keith Mitchell, someone I mentioned with Noonan the other day, didn't have the guts to bat. Of course, he goes out and plays a fun story. Do you know what preferred lies means?
Not really, no. I've heard it a million times, but I've never dug in to really try to understand it.
If it's wet and gross, obviously with golf, you hit your ball where it lands, except on the green, you can pick it up and mark it. But with preferred lies, you can do that with every shot. You can pick it up, clean the ball off. Because sometimes if they don't give you that and it's shitty out, you end up with a chunk of mud or dirt on the ball. Yeah. You can't do anything about it, and it flies bad.
Yeah.
And Keith Mitchell finished 5 under, and he'd forgotten about it at a certain point during the tournament, and just hit a ball with mud on it, and it went way off kilter and had a bogey. So he didn't even take advantage. So he had a hell of a day.
Okay.
I might be regretting him, but I don't know if they finished. I don't think they finished all the rounds today. Weather looks horse shitty.
Brett also asks, is Houston the most miserable big city in the United States? We have so much to cover, Brett, that I can't get into it, but Houston's on the list of the top 5, surely.
I think I've started writing down things we need to get to, and it's city rankings. Would be
Atlanta's in the mix, certainly. I would say that the big cities in California are trying to force their way into the mix with the way
Houston's
that
not even number 1 in Texas. Dallas, Fort Worth.
Worse than Houston? I mean, Houston is quintessential urban sprawl, although that makes housing affordable, which
Houston
is not
has better
in a lot of other
suburbs.
cities. So Houston has better suburbs. Okay. They got the Astros too, which is a fun ballpark.
Here for the Astro.
All right, let's move on to, you said your horses are Minwoo Lee and others. Let's move on to the horses, Andy. There are 2 very important win and you are into the Derby qualifying races this weekend, the Florida Derby and the Arkansas Derby. Have you done your homework on these 2, or do you need me to fill you in?
0.
Okay. Which of the 2 are you interested in first?
Florida's a better race.
Okay, so the top horse in the Florida field is a horse called Sovereignty. Sovereignty is, for my money, he is the best 3-year-old. Okay. That means I think he'll have the best season overall. I think he'll be the best kind of horse going forward, and maybe have the best career of all these 3-year-olds. Here's the problem. He is a dead nut closer, like way off the pace closer. Okay. That didn't hurt him in the Fountain of Youth because the Fountain of Youth wasn't especially fast, right? The Florida Derby has some absolutely white hot speed at the top with a potential pace battle going off between Mattakit Road and Disruptor. Disruptor has been sort of the hot buzzy horse because Pletcher is still desperately looking to find a horse into the Derby. Right now, it's looking like he's going to have 0. He needs Disruptor to do something good to actually like realistically have a chance at this point, which is crazy. But why are you laughing?
I don't know. Disruptors. It makes me think of this song from Clerks. Berserker.
Okay.
Love is like a ticking clock, Berserker.
Okay. Disruptor.
I'm cheering for Disruptor now.
I think this race probably there's a bit of a pace melt. I don't think Disruptor or Matticat Road to me is fast enough to hold on to win, which means it's either going to be a stalker or a closer. The best stalker in the field is Brad Cox's horse, Tappan Street. And then again, the best closer in the field is clearly Sovereignty. So I think, that's true. Nequios also will be some cheap speed early, and he's on the rail. So you have 3 horses that are going to be hot
if you get a
there.
stupid hot pace through the first half,
you
might not have your closers. Your
closers can be too far away, right? But the stalkers
or your closers are trying to keep pace if the jockeys don't know what the fuck they're doing, and then they don't have the close.
Yeah, and actually, goddamn, Andy, you're bringing up some great points because guess
then
what?
You get
Sovereignty
weird win.
has a new jockey. His jockey had a fracture. I want to say it was Luis Saez had a fracture, and they're replacing him with who do they replace him with? Brett probably knows. But
tiny Latino.
I forget who the new jockey is on Sovereignty, but there's a lot of reasons to doubt Sovereignty in this race, and he's going off at 8-5 or ish 8-5 We'll say probably 2-1 realistically. He may fade a bit. I think Tappan Street is the bang. Manny Franco in for Junior. Thank you. I think the right answer and the right fun way to play it is a box of Tappan Street and Sovereignty. And then you don't worry about what order they come in. If Sovereignty wins, Andy.
Quinella.
If Sovereignty wins, Andy, that's good news for all of us for Kentucky Derby betting purposes, because as much as a closer doesn't really necessarily fit this field, in my opinion, you know what it really doesn't fit? The Derby field. We saw it last year with Sierra Leone not being able to get his trip exactly right.
A lot of traffic too if you get a bad pace.
A lot of traffic if it's So I'm not saying Sovereignty can't win the Derby. I'm just saying that if he wins the Florida Derby, he'll be probably top 2, maybe top 3 choice for the Kentucky Derby, and he'll be a bet against there in my opinion. Even though again, I think he's the best of the 3-year-olds. So we shall see. So that's the Florida Derby handicap. I'm going to box Tappan Street and Sovereignty. Archie?
I like it. Yeah, give me something on Archie.
Okay. Have you seen the favorite in the Arkansas Derby? It's a horse called Cornucopian. Okay. Cornucopian is trained by Bob Baffert. He is a colt out of Into Mischief. If you remember last week's commentary, Into Mischief colts are running amok. These last 12 months have been just an unreal performances week in, week out, it feels like, from Into Mischief colts. And Cornucopian kind of passes the eye test. He looks like a good horse, and just the fact that Bob Baffert's training him makes him, pretty formidable. He is going to go off in the 7-5 range, Andy, which is pretty heavy favorite for a race of this pedigree. Grade 1 stakes. Would you say 7-5 in a Grade 1 stakes is pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just with. What about the?
So here's the rub. I'm building this up for a reason. Right? So 7-5 is a short price for a horse, but not Baffert, whatever. Like you kind of shrug it is what it is. It's by the Baffert tax, right? You look at Cornucopian's past performances, you notice something pretty obvious right away. He's run one race, Andy. He won one race at Oaklawn, and he broke his maiden couple weeks ago. You rewatch that race, and people like kind of came all over themselves because they were like, "Oh, he's so good down the stretch. He's had so much extra." No, he was being asked. Like I didn't think that it was enough of a eye-popping performance to warrant coming into the Arkansas Derby as this completely proverbial favorite, because this isn't a weak field. Cold Battle and Sandman are both very good horses. Cold Battle is a little bit of like a little engine that could. Right? Like he kind of gets he runs his race. He runs his race every time, and he's beaten the odds every time. But
Just
the
Rudy,
but the
Rudy out there.
yeah, the horse for the course is Sandman. Sandman is legit. He's still getting bigger. If the last, I forget what race Cole Battle took Sandman down in, whatever, the preceding, kind of big race was the Rebel Stakes. I forget. Whatever the big, the preceding race for this that Cole Battle and Sandman ran. I'm going to look it up now because I want to get this right. It was the Rebel Stakes back on February 23rd. Sandman finished third in that race, but if that had been a furlong longer, he would have won. And I think at 3-1, he's the right horse here. Jose Ortiz riding Sandman, Mark Cass, good trainer. And for me, at least at 3-1, he's the pick here. So, taking advantage of the fact that Cornucopian is being aligned like everybody knows the result, considering he's won one fucking race. He's run one race is insane to me. It's absolutely crazy. And actually, I got to go a step further. It would be bad for horse racing if Cornucopian wins, because he'll go off at the Derby probably co-favorite or favorite, having run 2 races in his career. And that kind of sends a bad message for how you put up together a horse campaign for the Derby, and sets a bad precedent that, kind of makes what Justified did kind of look correct. And I don't know. We don't want a world where people are using kid gloves on the good 2 and 3-year-olds. Unless you're concerned about their health, I guess. But, and I'm concerned about their health. I'm just saying that we want more fun, good lead up races so that there's more drama and more to handicap for the Derby. We don't want these, just one graded stakes win and you're in the Derby. Yeah. You have no idea how to handicap you. So, kind of hoping Cornucopian is a flame out, but we'll see. Sandman.
And our guy Brett Tholomew has a hot take on a different horse. First division, ridden by Brian Hernandez Jr. Should be 25-30-1 right now. We'll see what it looks like on the closing line. I might bet some horses.
That's a big number. I like that. Saturday. First division. Okay.
Are both races Saturday?
Yes.
Man, I have a lot of yard work to do. But it looks like it looks like it may rain all day.
They're late. They're late starts.
It'd be like an all shucks. I'll watch basketball and horse racing all day instead.
Oh, bummer. Well, the big time races are late. All right. So your weekend is full of yard work? That's what you're doing this weekend?
No, I mean, so it is going to be 78 degrees today.
So spring is sprung.
Oh, it is definitely sprung. So getting maybe multiple grills out. I don't know. What's like the best beer? I know you're going to do a wine rack yet. What's the best beer when it's like, oh, it's nice out. I need a beer that just hits.
Oh. You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, it's always nice. You don't have different seasons, so you don't understand this, but like when you awaken, it's like, oh, it's warm. Cold beer tastes so much better when it's warm out.
Yeah, that's the summer thing for me, not spring.
There's
always still a little chill in the air in spring. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be gorgeous.
Oh, people want the wheat beers.
Banquet.
Yeah.
Remember we couldn't get Coors Banquet in Vegas at one time? I've asked 5 different bars.
I do remember that. Yeah.
I guess you can't get it. It's just like the plot to the movie Smokey and the Bandit. Can't get it in certain places.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't know. Yeah.
Honestly, you know what? It's a shitty beer, but I'm kind of craving like a Corona.
Okay.
I can't think of. I probably haven't had a Corona in 2 years.
I had 5 Coronas last weekend watching college basketball at the Hops and Hoops at the Cosmo, so I have no judgment. No judgment here.
I believe that's a Weird Al song.
Okay. The weekend for me. So you're gonna do some grilling?
Yeah.
What are you gonna grill?
9 Coronas. Maybe that's a different person. God, Modelo Day. You know what's
Yeah.
it's a better version.
I fully support a cerveza.
A good
Yeah.
Mexican beer, but a good one.
Yeah.
Sol or Pacifico. I think that's the move for me.
Pacifico.
I
Okay.
just can't buy it. I can't.
Have
buy
you
it.
ever had Victoria?
Oh, it's my favorite Mexican beer. Not close.
That would be the one for me then.
They're harder to find for some reason around
You
here.
can get them at Totmo.
I don't know what that is.
Totmo. Total Wine and More.
Oh shit!
They
I forgot
absolutely
I
have
that now.
Victoria.
I've never bought beer
promise you
there.
They have it. I promise
It's only
you
been
they
wine
have it there.
shopping.
If you go
all right,
there for that and you can't find it, I will send you a case because it's my apologies. They've had
Grilling
it every time I've
tonight.
looked for it there. Yeah.
Grilling tonight is for the kids and family. Tomorrow is for me. So tonight will be chicken legs. Literally,
Ooh.
not drummies, the full legs. One of my kids' favorite things is just you slow cook those and then you crisp them up on the outside. Put way too much barbecue sauce on it. Let it, solidify on the outside. Just barbecue chicken legs because kids are picky and they love those. Honestly, chicken just slaps. But I do have a brisket that I think I'm going to smoke
Cool.
tomorrow or Sunday. That's more for me. They like brisket too.
Mm.
Little,
Yeah.
obviously, a little bit different levels of preparation and, time spent because the chicken takes like half an hour.
So, speaking of brisket, my drink of choice this weekend is going to be inspired by brisket. He recommended Lola Tequila. I got into tequilas and sodas in Vegas pretty heavily, and he was saying that
That's
I got to
what it
try
is.
Lola, which I've never had before. Went out and found a bottle, and I'm taking it to Palm Springs. I'll be in Palm Springs in the desert this weekend. I'm super fired up. We have friends who have a house in Movie Colony, which is like the kind of 40s, 50s movie star, like little kind of hub in Palm Springs near downtown. Awesome looking pool with a great view of the mountains. So, going to be spending a lot of time at the pool. Going to get a little color. Going to do a little grilling. We have stocked up on a lot of Mexican options, so it'll go well with tequila and soda. Some carne asada on the grill, some shrimp. So we're going to make some street tacos. It will be a grand fiesta of a time as we kind of work our way into spring. But the wine rec that everybody comes here for is pretty simple, man. Spring is in the air. You got to get something that is a crowd pleaser for, particularly for the ladies. And we are going to go low hanging fruit here. Cote de Provence Rosé. The Cote de Provence is obviously the kind of
I want you to spell it and put it on a banner.
COTEDE, Provence, which is province basically. And Cote de Provence down by Marseille, Nice, Saint-Tropez, that area, like the hills. People think Côte means coast, but it's actually the hills of Provence. Côte, C-O-T-E in French is hills. And the hills of
The
Provence.
Ivory Hill, yeah, the Ivory Hills. As everyone
The Côte
knows.
d'Ivoire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. The Ivory Hills. The Côte de Provence is known for Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, GSM, right, in their rosés. The best of them, in my opinion, though, have a healthy amount of Sanson, which is another red grape that is kind of really gives a lot more body to a good Côte de Provence rosé. Again, like an absolute crowd pleaser if you're in mixed company, and perfect for grilling, perfect for chicken, fish, shrimp. It would go with Mexican. It goes, I think like the best cuisine is probably something that's like a little olive oily, a little garlicky. It's like quintessential Mediterranean wine wine for Mediterranean food. If you're looking for a recommendation for a label, actually, if you're looking for a recommendation for a Côte de Provence rosé or a rosé period, for me, I like dry, right? If you go with something, if you end up with something that's a little on the sweeter side, it can get a little desserty and it doesn't necessarily pair as well with the food. There are a lot of good rosés that are on the sweeter side but they all taste like Jolly Rancher to me, as opposed to having a little bit more depth, a little more structure. I like a dry one. You can usually kind of tell the best, in my opinion, are the very pale pink as opposed to the ones that are sort of the richer, almost more kind of on the magenta side. So look for the pale pink. Côte de Provence is the gold standard in my opinion. And if you want a specific label, the label of choice that is better than like the very popular Miraval, better than the very popular Whispering Angel. Go a little bit cheaper price point, but better quality in a label called Byott, BYOTT. Best Cote de Provence I've ever had. You can find it definitely at Totemo. You can find it at Bevmo. You can find it at a lot of grocery stores. The Vons near me has it, and every time they restock on it, and they have the six. The deal like, hey, it's $28 bottle, but if you buy 6, it's 20. I go in there and buy 6 whenever they have it available. So Byott, clearly the best Cote de Provence, and clearly a great spring wine rec. So, Andy, are you into rosé at all?
I am not. But
No?
it's spring. I don't have a spring wine. I have winter wine, full ass bodied cabs, strong reds. I have summer wine. I do like a little bit of Pinot Gris, and I obviously like my Vinho Verdes, the Portuguese wine. What was the white Spanish wine that we mentioned the other day?
Albarino.
Albarino. Just the tiniest bit of sparkling to it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate that. I think I'm adding that to my summer wines, but I don't have a spring wine, so I'm gonna try this out. I'll have
Okay.
the Total Wine on the way home.
The lighter,
And I didn't even
pink,
hear
better.
half the stuff. I was kind of zoning out a little because
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm just gonna take a picture of
If you're
the
gonna-
Cote
yeah.
de Provence and send it to you, and you're gonna point to the one I want.
Yeah. If the lighter, the better in general.
No, I heard
Right.
that.
You're
yeah.
gonna enjoy
Yeah.
it more. And the actually, like, you can actually tell, like, the more artistic the bottle, generally the better. Like, it's meant to be like presentation. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, there's
get you. I
a
get what you're
correlation there. Like,
I do like an artistic bottle.
yeah. So
Also, I do
Yeah.
need a rec, and this can be Twitter, this can be DMs, this can be YouTube comments, this can be Discord. I forgot I am grilling one other thing. I grabbed all the vegetables, fresh mushrooms, fresh peppers, fresh onions, some zucchini perhaps. I have a bunch of stuff. Another thing the kids do like on the grill is shish kebabs.
ooh, yum.
I'm going to be using. I like lamb. The kids don't love lamb as much. I love chicken. I don't have any chicken besides the legs, so I'm going to use a couple cuts of beef from the freezer.
Okay, get your
don't-
lamb now before
Well,
Passover, man.
Yeah, I
coming
know.
up.
I'm looking at the like. What do you put on your shish kebab? What is your seasoning or marinade?
Okay.
A lot of times with chicken, I literally will use an entire bottle of Italian dressing, cheap like Kraft or store brand, because you're not actually putting it on a salad. You're putting everything, cutting it up, putting it in a huge bowl. Italian dressing. Just let it sit in that for a day or whatever.
Yeah. The only
If anybody else has Rex on that.
do you use wood skewers or metal?
Wood.
You soak them?
Yes, you don't want them on fire.
Good call.
I do have metal ones somewhere, but if anyone has any seasoning or marinade ideas for the beef shish kebabs I'm going to be doing, because obviously I have, I use Greek spices when I use the lamb ones, and lamb ones are a little more yellow squash, zucchini, that sort of thing, because they're a little more Greeky. But yeah, hit me with some Rex on that, because I think I'm doing that Saturday or Sunday.
What vegetables go with the beef, out of curiosity?
I'm going to use all three kinds of, different colored bell peppers.
Yeah.
I'm going to use red onions.
Okay.
I'm going to possibly some cherry tomatoes,
Okay.
definitely some mushrooms,
Okay.
and then I don't know if I have zucchini. I'll see what else I have.
If you just stick to the bell pepper or red onion for the beef ones, you sounds like you're like kind of doing a little bit of a fajita style, honestly.
Yeah, you could go Mexican there. You could
Yeah.
go some cilantro.
Yeah. Some heavy, or do a dry, just do a dry one with some, oil and chili pepper it up. Anyway, all right, man.
What I gotta get it, put it in you.
All right, man. We'll save Malbec for
chili
next week,
peppering
Berto. That's a great request,
it
though.
down. Friday
Malbec.
Malbec.
You're not gonna believe this, but I'm gonna give you an Argentinian one.
So
Surprise!
So for next week, we have to rank shitty cities. We have to rank ballpark foods, and we have a Friday Malbec.
Yes, wine of the
on the
week will be
list.
Malbec next week. Exciting. All right, guys. Best of luck. I'm gonna find the music and we will play this out. There we go.
What I gotta get it, put it in you.
Sparty or Tennessee for Survivor. I'm on Ole Miss, so take Tennessee, I think. I don't know. Tennessee's going to be a pretty popular pick today, though.
Depends who you
Tennessee's going to be super popular pick today because I think everybody thinks they're going to lose to Houston because they are.